But I am so happy that everybody's here and that the fruits of all of our labor came back to create something really, really good. And so we're celebrating that. I believe in America you have to celebrate the history, and I do not want the history of Carthage Lacrosse to be forgotten. So I went to see Brian Staub at Cascanets and asked to see Junior Stefanini, hoping he would find a place to put this plaque, and he's offered up an entire wall. So we are going to have kind of a wall of fame in the waiting room at Cascanets. The Team 24 is kind of like the family legacy. My legacy has to do with battling cancer for 13 years, almost 14 now. And so anyway, I want that always to be remembered when somebody comes to this Hall of Fame, for them to remember that, we fought and we fought hard and we're going to continue to fight, and that they're reminded to get screened. Men at 40 and women for breast cancer, very important for those two screenings. Don't be me. And I waited way too long, and it's cost me some good time with my family and friends. But here we are tonight, and I could not be happier. I could not be prouder. So what happened was, I did not want to start slowly recognizing the people we knew we were going to recognize. And I also wanted to include the girls, because Sue Gallagher is a friend of mine, has been since our Cortland days, but her family's like family to me. So it was easy call. And I sat down with her and Steve, and we talked about it. And I said, this is what I want to do, and they were behind me 100%. So if anybody's here who doesn't like the process or what transpired, basically, too bad. No offense. Mr. Decker here, he's the superintendent of Indian River. You can't go to my superintendent and complain about me, because I don't have one anymore. So with that being said, let's continue the night. And the first thing I'd like to do is, I would like to introduce and also honor, as a member of this class of 2024, she's going to handle the women's side of things, but my friend and a great Hall of Fame coach, and now the first person actually going to be given the award, Sue Gallagher. Sue, congratulations.
I think I'm supposed to start off with introducing one of our first inductees, who is going to be a guy that was very, very instrumental in helping us start both our programs here, and that's Alan Dingman.
Al, I'll come to you. Al, I'll come to you.
We'll come to you. And while he's going over, I'll continue on.
He just finished a marathon.
Al Dingman started the Carthage Lacrosse Club for a few years before he handed the reins over to Kirk. As the boys program took off, Al was there to handle the fundraising, helping the boys to a first-class program during the boys' 3 sectional runs. In 1996, 1999, and 2000, Alan was there to support their travels, including the 2 New York State finalists. During his tenure as the president of the Carthage Lacrosse Club, Alan also believed in starting a program for the girls. With funds from the Lacrosse Club, he purchased our uniforms and equipment and organized a meeting to get us started. I have a special place in my heart for Alan, and really believe that if he had not pursued this with the girls, we wouldn't have started the program as soon as that. Our team started the Al Dingman Award in 2002 to honor his leadership, his service, and his love for the game of lacrosse. Thank you, Alan, for all you have done for the Carthage community. Always sent me flowers too every year after my coaching. He was just a wonderful person. Before I do introduce the All-Americans, though, and go on from here for the girls, I'd like to thank the boys, now all you men who are here, that played for the program. You really set the standard really, really high for us, and whether you realize it or not, you definitely helped to influence our girls to want and believe that they could do the same. We saw the work and dedication day in and day out, and it makes a huge difference. You set the standards, and we had to catch up and keep up. So thank you to all you men now that helped us to get the girls program to be a high level as we have for a few years. Thank you. And Kirk, I always want to thank you. I know I've done it numerous times, but you considering to have us come and even be part of this is a real special thing, and I thank you for that. You never cease to amaze me with all you've done for Carthage Lacrosse. You had an impact for shaping our teams, the girls' teams as well. You've always been there to help me with anything I needed. Thank you for your graciousness in considering the girls and all the work you've done to put on this great event.
Thanks. You're welcome.
So I'm going to start off with the first 3 All-Americans from what I call the early years. The first one is Emily Woodrick Dickup, and do you want them to come up? I would really, Emily, come on up. And the third All-American from that, what I would say, era is Sarah Gallagher. All right, the next 4 All-Americans were part of a team that had 5 sectional championships, were 2007 state championship finalists, 2008 and 2009 state semifinalists, and 2010 state championship finalists. The first one, Gabrielle Kamide Grogan, could not be here tonight. She's ill. She came up to the varsity as an 8th grader, graduating in 2009. Catherine Duranda Hickey, who is here, is our next recipient. He was 8 weeks old. Kat came up to varsity as an 8th grader and was a 2010 graduate. She had 1 speed and 1 speed only. In practice or in games, Kat was all out. She topped the stats in every aspect, scoring over 100 points her freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. Her intensity set the tone for our teams that held us to a higher level. Kat earned All-American status her senior year. She signed with Division I powerhouse Northwestern, and being a really very important part of that team that won the D1 championship in 2011 and 2012. Okay, the next recipient is Kate Ferris Lavelle. We have another recipient that couldn't be here tonight, Kayla Kempney. She was another 8th grader that came up to varsity, and Kayla was a 2011 graduate and high school All-American. Kayla signed with Division I Syracuse, where she earned All-American status as well. As a midfielder in high school, she scored over 100 points her sophomore, junior, and senior year, along with recording top numbers in draw controls. While at Syracuse, she quit. And our youngest and our last All-American is Peyton Romick. I feel I had a little something to do with Peyton. I'm going to take some credit.
The players on the boys' side of the Lacrosse Hall of Fame. I'm going to be honest, Sue, when I'm thinking about tonight, I'm thinking about honoring my guys. And I knew you had some great players, but I want to tell you what, your girls did some amazing things, just like my guys, and I'm proud to have you guys included in this Hall of Fame. You girls are awesome. And I'm going to be honest, I was your phys ed teacher when you were young, and I've told people this today. Whatever it is, and people talk about they have it, I watched you girls compete against the boys in phys ed class, and I knew. John Conley's shaking his head, yes, he knows what I'm talking about. I knew you guys had it. I knew it. None of you, all your accomplishments surprised me, as great as they are, because I saw you compete with the boys in phys ed class, and to be honest, you kicked the daylights out of them most of the time. They didn't want it as bad as you did. Not many of them. Okay, so with that being said, I'd like to start with, I'm going to kind of go backwards. And maybe
can
as
sit
we
there.
get further down here, I'll be crying by the end of it because some of these guys I owe a lot more than just a Hall of Fame nod to. Once again, they made my life great, and I accomplished things I never thought I possibly could, and it wasn't because of me, like the song says, it was because of you. And so I thank you for that. Carter Kempney isn't here tonight. I think he was supposed to go to Canada to play some lacrosse, but Carter was a 2022 All-American. He played for head coach then, Jason Kaufman. He was a 5-star recruit out of Carthage, and he plays at Syracuse. He'll be a junior coming up, and a very skilled, hard-nosed athlete who ended up with 221 points at Carthage. And so Carter Kempney is our first boys recipient. Young man here will be flying back in the morning to MIT, one of the most prestigious universities in all of the USA. And no slouches get in there. In fact, I can't even spell MIT, let alone get in there. But Corey was a 3-year starter for Coach Kaufman, and I coached him when he was a youth. Corey had recorded 28 saves in the game to tie for the all-time record. Does anybody know who held that record?
Paul Harder.
Paul Herger. Yes, it was. One of our original goalies. We saw a lot of shots back then. Okay, believe me. We're all about offense, and not much about defense. But anyway, Corey, exceptional GPA, high test scores, allowed him one of the nation's toughest schools, and an academic All-American in 2022. Corey Decker. Being with the academic All-Americans. And the boys' process is very competitive. We get the same number of academic All-Americans for the whole section as we do regular or athletic All-Americans, and they're very competitive. And that's why the boys are included. The girl process is a little different. That may have changed, and if it did change, and wherever it changed, we'll make sure that they're in next year's class. But Luke Perley once had 8 assists in the game. He had a 12-point game. He finished with 276 points. And he went to Salisbury University and won a national championship there. He actually moved to LSM after a high-scoring attack career to make sure that he could contribute. So very proud to call him my cousin and to call him Carthage Hall of Fame, Luke Peroli. By the way, and an academic All-American. This young man once scored 9 goals in the game, had 12 assists in the game, and 14 total points. He ended up with 150 goals, 213 assists for 363 points. He started at Brown University, another prestigious university in the United States, known as the Ivy League. And then he went on to be a starter at Syracuse for his graduate year. And by any measure, he could be an All-American in any given year, but we're proud to call him a Hall of Fame member. Nick graduated from Carthage in, what year was it?
2011.
2011. Nick Peroli.
With his left
And
hand.
with his left hand, when they wanted to interview me after the game, I said only if he interviewed Nick Peroli first, and they did. So that was cool. Congratulations. 245 career goals, 248 career assists, 493 points. And he also had 478 career ground balls, which meant that he did anything and everything we needed. The only thing that kept him maybe from breaking Casey Powell's 553 points was an ACL injury. And by the way, him and Nick played together. And actually, Thomas scored 130-some points as a freshman and helping opposite Rob us get the state championship game. Thomas was a starter at Syracuse, and he played primarily short stick defensive midi. But proud to call him to the Carthage Hall of Fame, Thomas Grimm. Well, we're staying with the brothers theme here. The next guy is Rob Grimm. He was a two-time All-American at Carthage, and we've had a couple of those. And Rob had 196 career assists, 398 points, 476 career ground balls. Was a face, did everything we asked him to do. He was a highly sought-after recruit, ended up at UMBC, and actually had 147 points senior year. And he was unstoppable. Everybody wanted him. And the only reason he ended up at UMBC, I feel, is because our guy, Rob Cross, who will be in this Hall of Fame eventually, came after you hard. And he was hoping to get the progression of Grimm Brothers. That didn't work out, but he got Rob. So welcome to the Hall of Fame, Rob Grimm. Oh boy. Okay, next. This guy ended up being our one of two athletes to go to Ohio State University. Was highly recruited. Just happens to share my last name. Name is Mario. He had 113 points one year, 106 another, 50 assists, 209 career goals, 151 career assists, 4-year starter, and he's played for me in the World Games for the Philippine team. He actually was voted to the president's list in 2018. You're not 2018. And he trains athletes in Florida, and this year he had 9 kids commit to Division I. So highly sought after lacrosse training. My son and a Hall of Famer, Mario Ventiquatro. One of my boys. Not really. The next one was a starting goalie for us and led us to a state championship game, and also was split time in another state championship game when nobody wanted to stand between the pipes. But this guy, I always said, was a superstar athlete in a big guy's body, and he proved that when he led Cortland State to the 2004 national championship game. 2001? 2006. Like I said, I'm not as organized as Sue. But the 2006 national championship game, and I was so mad that Mike Felice got MVP, and you are still my MVP. But All-American at Cortland, and my assistant coach, defense coordinator for the Philippines team. Welcome to the Hall of Fame, Ben Gable. He's one of my boys, spent a lot of time in our house. This one actually shares my name. One of 2 players in CCS lacrosse history to be 3-time sectional champions. He started 2 state championship games and ended up with a scholarship to UMass, finished career at Cortland. 143 goals, 165 career assists, 308 points, and right now he's the reigning 3-time Coach of the Year in the Fort Myers area, built the top 20 program, left to better his family situation, but this guy did everything for us. I remember standing on the sideline like this with a long pole, so when we had to go on defense, he'd run by and grab the long stick, and he would also play long pole. In fact, let's go back to Ben. I forgot when he was a junior, he was fully strapped up for goalie, and I played him in the middle of our man-up team, and Ben would just take shots off the chest. But him and Tony played man down for us. Tony, of course, played man up, and very proud to call this guy my son, and very proud to welcome him to the Carthage Lacrosse Hall of Fame. Tony Ventiquatro. This young man had 5 goals and 4 assists in the 2000 state championship game. He was part of only one time a trio of athletes scored 100 points in the same season. They were Ian Dingman and Mike Powell, who squared off in a national championship game, which I believe was 2004. So maybe I got that one right. But this young man ended up breaking the trend of going to Syracuse when you were a Carthage superstar. Jared Little ended up going to UVA, was a star attackman / midfielder for them, and won 2 national championships. And speaking of 2, this is the only. How many did you win? Yeah, 2. Okay. This is the first time I've only seen him once in the last 30 years. And he came in from California to be here. Important to me. Very good. Open your hands. Thank you for being here. It means a lot. It means a lot. Thank you. Next was our first academic All-American. He started in the state championship game in 2000 at Hofstra. He teamed up with Ricky Babbitt as the smartest pair of defensive players we ever had on the field at the same time. This guy, Josh Pucci, is so smart. The one question he missed on his SAT on the way out of the test, he found out that he had missed that answer. That's how smart this young man is. Josh is like family. I coached him in T-ball way back when, and so glad that Josh came here today with his family. And welcome to the Hall of Fame, Josh Pucci. Academic All-American right here, baby. Congratulations. I appreciate it. I tried to get these guys in order, and if I forget somebody and I have to go back to them, whatever, I could give you a million reasons why I get a break. I'm a little scrambled up here. So anyway. Get it together, brother. This guy is hardly regarded as possibly the best player to ever play NCAA lacrosse. I would never tell you who the best player was to ever play Carthage because I don't know. I loved them all. They all played. Say, what's the best power? You kidding me? I was blessed to have any and everyone named Powell. Anyway. So I lost it tonight when Mike came in because I know just how talented this guy is, and not just at lacrosse. He's an accomplished musician, accomplished artist, and we tell people around the country all the time, and I mean, I don't just say that literally, my sons and I will tell people about how talented this guy is, where he can, anything he sets his mind to, Josh Hickey's probably going like this, whatever he sets his mind to, this guy can do, and I was blessed to have him play for me. Sometimes I didn't realize it, but I certainly do now. But this guy he broke his brother's records at Syracuse and ended up winning 2 national championships. He, for the longest time, was the only guy to win 2 Tewaaraton awards. That's the award to the best player in college lacrosse. Some people only know him for the flip that he did against UMass. And, that was Mike being Mike, man. That's who he is. He always was taking his game to the next level, trying to keep it fun. Anyway, I could tell you all of Mike's accolades. It'll be here all day. He is definitely on everybody's list of the top 10 players to ever play college lacrosse. And Mike, welcome to the Carthage Lacrosse Hall of Fame. And he was a wonderful T-ball player for me. My wife taught him how to read.
Oh, baby!
That's okay.
Man, I wish I was a better coach. I had all this stinking talent and I couldn't win the big one. This next young man was part of this trio of 100-point scorers, and he went on to play at Navy, and actually they lost by 1 goal. What year was that, 2004? It was, right? In 2004, Ian Dingman was the All-American at Navy, Mike Powell the All-American at Syracuse, and they squared off. That was so much fun. Can you imagine not just watching these two play, but being their coach? It was a proud day. In fact, Mike, last time you saw this, how many drew it up here and kicked it or something with you guys? That's donated from Ian Dingman. Ian Dingman was unstoppable, especially in college. In high school, I taught him to put the stick here because that's where Mike was going to put the ball. And all Ian did was stick goal after goal after goal. And I love the Dingman brothers. I love the Dingman parents. They meant a lot to Carthage Lacrosse. And I'm so proud to honor to the Carthage Lacrosse Hall of Fame, Ian Dingman. Appreciate every moment.
Thanks for your service.
He took face-offs too. Imagine running out to take face-offs against that guy. I'm out. He gone. Well, he was a better coach. Not here tonight, but part of the Dingman All-Americans. Ian, of course, was All-American at Navy. Chris Dingman was a 1999 All-American at Carthage. He was not only strictly a defensive player, he was a face-off guy. And that season he won 67% of his face-offs. And the program had taken a dip, and guys like Ian and Mike and Chris pulled us out of that dip. And then we were strong for a nice period of time. But Chris went on to play at Navy, and Chris was a fighter pilot for over 20 years. In fact, he used to train other fighter pilots. He recently took a job with a commercial airline, and he's at the situation where he just couldn't get today off, even though he wanted to be here. But ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause and welcome to the Hall of Fame, Chris Dingman. For your service as well as that of all 3 of your sons. Lee Dingman, who's here. Where's Lee? And Lee went to Army, and he also defended our country, and very proud to call you friend, Lee. Thanks for being here. Next guy was a 2-time All-American at Carthage. One of 3 Comets to be a 2-time All-American. 97 and 98. He finished his career with 403 points. And by the way, 300 is the high water mark for earning an All-American award. Josh totaled 125 points as a junior, 147 as a senior. He went on to Syracuse to be a 3-time All-American, if not 4. Don't quote me on that. He was a 2-time national champion, and he also played for Team USA with Mike Powell in the World Championships in Australia, and won a gold medal representing the United States. This guy was a high school first-team quarterback when he played for his dad, Terry Kaufman, who, by the way, was one of my best mentors. And in fact, he was instrumental in me getting the job at Carthage. And his dad was the one to ask me if I would coach lacrosse. So forever in debt to the Kaufman family. And Josh, who was an outstanding football coach at Loudville's, won a couple of sectional titles. And very proud to welcome Josh. One more thing. I saw some unbelievable goals in my life as a Carthage coach. And I hate the word Corning East, actually 2 words, because we're 1-8 against them. But Josh scored a goal against them in the state tournament. I always thought it was left hand, but he came all the way around and he stuck it. And it's like, I've seen some great things. I mean, I coached Powell Brothers, but that goal sticks out to me as maybe the greatest goal. And no, Nick Peruli's was the greatest one. But that, Josh, was the most creative goal. Let's go with that. But Josh Kaufman, welcome to the Carthage Lacrosse Hall of Fame. Good call. Next. Next brings me to one of my best friends in the world. I was in his wedding. When I signed my contract at Carthage, is a true story. Ryan doesn't remember it. Well, he was 5. So I pull out signing my contract, January 25th, I remember it was my birthday. And there's this huge snowbank, and driving down the road, I mean, I'm proud as a peacock. I'm going to be teaching at Carthage. I see this dog, it might have been Jenny, but probably not, pulling this kid on the sled. I said, did you see that? My wife said, see what? The next snowbank was Selesky's house, who went on to play at UPenn for us. And so I said, I got to get a picture of this. This is a true story. So I get out of the car, he says, hey, what's your name? The kid stands up, no front teeth. I'm Ryan Powell. I said, is Larry Powell your dad? He said, yeah. I said, hey, I'm going to be your new phys ed teacher over here. And he says, cool. And 30 years later, 25 years later, I'm in his wedding? You got to be kidding me. The stuff, it's awesome to call him friend. And he's one of my best friends in the world. And he was one tremendous lacrosse player. He led us in '96, along with Lee Dingman and Ryan and Josh Kaufman, to the '96 championship after being on the end of his brother's passes in '94. And Ryan went on to, in fact, he should have been a 2-time All-American. He tied in the voting with, you remember who?
No.
From CNS, Casey Hard. But because Casey Hard was a senior, he got it. So otherwise, he'd have joined his brother as a 2-time All-American. But Ryan, who's in the National Lacrosse Hall of Fame, had 429 career points, 244 goals, 185 assists. He ranks 6th all-time with 435 ground balls. When I'm telling you how many ground balls the guy had, I mean, they're a hard-nosed, gritty lacrosse player. After a while, Giggy wasn't there to get us the ball back. You had to go get it yourself, didn't you? Giggy Gagnon, one of our best friends. Ryan's in all of the Hall of Fames. Ryan's been MVP of this league, that league. He owns a very successful lacrosse company. He's a great human being. I'm so proud to call him friend. Ryan, welcome to the Carthage Lacrosse Hall of Fame. So Ryan had me present at the National Hall of Fame, okay? So when there were all the big shots, you had to get a tuxedo and everything. Fortunately for me, Larry was there to pick on me, right? So the first thing happens is the bottom of one shoe falls off. These are rented shoes. So Gretchen figures out how to tie them together. And then a few minutes later, the other shoe falls off. So I see Ryan, I'm sitting next to him. I said, hey, when you get your award, come to me so I don't have to walk in these shoes. Oh, coach, I got you. He steps down and he goes, come on, coach. I go looking up like, yes, I'm keeping my shoes on. But I tell you, he's a great human being. I love him. Best players of all time. And this guy always makes the list. And the fact, it's like he's like the Kobe Bryant of lacrosse. Jerry West. They have the logo patterned after him. But I believe the lacrosse logo for the pros is patterned after a Casey Powell pose. But Casey Powell was a 2-time All-American for us. He's had forever the New York State record. 300 is the high water mark for an All-American. Casey had 553 career points, 292 goals, 261 assists. Casey, as a freshman, played alongside Jason Kaufman and had 90 points as a freshman. I mean, I could go on and on. He helped lead us to the '94 sectional championship. And he was one of our many players to win gold medals as a captain of the U.S. lacrosse team. And he's in all of the Hall of Fames. In fact, I can tell you a funny joke about that. Where's Casey? I can tell you a funny joke about it, but I won't. I would never, no way. Anyway, but it's an inside joke. But this USA Hall of Famer ended up as the Syracuse career all-time leading scorer. Ryan came along and tied that record, ran off the field. What a TV moment. And as we mentioned, Mike ends up breaking both their records. Leave it to Mike. Always come back. But welcome, Casey, to the Carthage Lacrosse Hall of Fame. Lacrosse ambassador.
What are you going to talk about Mike breaking the record during
Mike?
my time?
Who? Woo! Oh, and that's, sorry, I'm glad. No, you got on, well, wait, I'm not going to make excuses. This next young man, man's brother was an All-American for us, went on to Virginia. Well, he came to us during the formative years where we could bring him up as a Carthage lacrosse player. The next young man, his name is Luke Little. Luke came to us sort of late, was part of the 96 championship team. I say championship as in a sectional team. And then he went on to Mercyhurst, and he was a two-time All-American as he spent more time on the game, developed his game. He was a two-time All-American at Mercyhurst. And I'm sorry, I apologize. I did this late at night, and I knew I was forgetting somebody, but you're never forgotten, Luke, and I'm so glad to welcome you to the Carthage Lacrosse Hall of Fame. Luke Little. I'm out of it most times, so.
Oh, chemo.
Hey, you want this? Oh, yeah. The next guy is the only Division III player ever mentioned when they talk about the top 10 college players of all time. Unbelievable set of hands and hand-eye coordination, and a tremendous player for us. He kind of put us on the map. And his success at Salisbury set everybody else up because they weren't going to miss the next Carthage kid. In fact, when Salisbury scrimmaged UMass to start the year, the coach at UMass said, "I missed you, buddy. I missed you," because he lit them up. And just like he did everybody in high school. He was a great, great player for us. He was nationally recognized. Jason, at Salisbury, he only lost 2 games in his career. And the other 2, he won national championships, so something like 60-2, or even, was it 60-2, Jaybird? And they may or not have somebody who broke his record, but since 1996, he held the record as the highest scoring NCAA player of all time. He was unstoppable, didn't matter what they did. He had 97 goals his senior year, and we only played 20 games. Unstoppable. And during that year, Casey had come up as a freshman, and Jason knew exactly everything about everything. And I tell people all the time, he's one of the smartest guys I know. Doesn't mean, he got 4 O's in college. He wasn't an academic All-American, but he knows exactly what to do when, and he's one heck of a football coach. But anyway, Jason, I take Jason out because he's scoring all these goals in the game. And then he stayed behind me and say, "When are you going to take Casey out? When are you going to take Casey out?" And I didn't want to take Casey out. And the reason why, and he never believed me, was Casey was a freshman, so I wanted him to really develop his game and learn to carry the ball. But guess what I did? I took Casey out. So Jason ended up that year with both players ended up with high scoring, and we were 19-0, 19-game win streak. We finally got knocked off against Lafayette. Remember Jay? Jay ended up taking face-offs that day, didn't you, Jay? We would do anything to try and win that game. And so anyway, one of the greatest players, and there's been others tonight, I've mentioned them, but this guy put us on the map, one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Proud to call him friend, Jason Kaufman. Welcome to the Carthage Lacrosse Hall of Fame. He said I should have read his ground ball stats. 8. I was going to say nothing from nothing beats nothing. My brother's going to play can you play the tribute song, Tom? Can you play the tribute song to the guys? Okay, let's do it. And then after he's done, we're going to try to sell some more of those $20 raffle tickets. And we had the place till 10. And it's too bad that we had this kind of ceremony thing to interrupt our interaction, because it warmed my heart. That was beautiful. Couldn't have been any better. It's exactly what I was going for when this idea came in place. Thank you so much for being here, folks. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Casey Powell's our guest speaker tonight. Boy, is he going to be mad. He's the oldest.
No, all good.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
You're not mad at me?
No, not at all.
Hi, everybody. It's an honor to be here. It's so exciting to, 30 years ago I played here, and just to see the wealth of success, not only on the lacrosse field, but in life. And that's one of the cool things about lacrosse is it's helped us taught us a lot of lessons about the game of lacrosse. Jason Kaufman, I heard, he told me one time, I heard him say a quote, he goes, "I'm not an athlete, I'm an attackman." and that was true, but just to jump on Coach Venequatro's coattails, Jason Kaufman, you were the OG, and you're somebody that inspired this entire room, this entire program, so proud to be up here. Everywhere I go, people talk about Jason Kaufman, and we've saved a seat for you in the National Hall of Fame, and hope that happens soon. I heard a quote one time, and it was from some lacrosse coaches down in Syracuse, and they said, if it wasn't for Kirk Venequatro, the Powells would be up in the North Country playing men's league softball. And man, we'd love to go watch them play. That's true. I'd like to acknowledge the greatest lacrosse coach from this area ever, John Conley. John Conley, the greatest lacrosse coach ever. Obviously, Coach Venequatro was our leader, but, with Gene and, some of the other coaches, we were really lucky to have some amazing coaches and amazing people around this program that made an impact. And, I played lacrosse a long time. I continue to coach it. And a lot of lacrosse isn't really about sharing lacrosse, but it's about encouraging players to follow their passion. And that's what our guys did. That's what our coaches did. So I think, thank you guys for the impact that you made on my life. And the older I get, the more I understand the sacrifices you guys to make this program where it is today. People always ask me when I go, what's it like? What's Carthage like growing up? And, what's it like growing, why were you and your brother so good? I always share this story, but my senior year, I just got done with it was one of the last games of the season. I just got done with a game against IHC. We won. My legs were cramping up, so I sat in the back seat middle and put my legs up through the center console. Ryan over here, Mike over here. We're driving on our way home, and I tapped my dad. My dad would go to all the games, but he would never say a word. Never say a word. Never talk about it. Never say good job. Nothing. I tapped him on the shoulder. My dad looks back. I go, "Dad, how'd I do?" He goes, "Not bad." I go, "Dad, I just broke the all-time national high school scoring record." 2 miles later, he pulls into Carvel ice cream and goes, "Get whatever you want." I was like, Dad's pumped. Dad's pumped. Dad's proud of me. This is amazing. But, what I got from that, what I get from that is that lacrosse is not a what you've done town, it's a what you do town. And I was able to watch all the hardworking men in this town, great examples of grabbing your lunch pail and going to work. And we were able to discover lacrosse and kind of put that same mentality and that same attitude towards that. And I think that's why we're all here today. Unbelievable, 14 All-Americans. Like, it's incredible. Wrote a little speech here today. I asked Coach if I could speak, and I just thought it'd be a good time to thank everybody and for this amazing journey, not only for my friend, but for all the friends and my boys back there in the '94 team. Yeah, boys. See you at the river party after this. Ladies, gentlemen, and Mario, proud members of the Carthage lacrosse community. Tonight we gather to celebrate not just a sport, but a legacy that has shaped our town and defined who we are. Under the guidance of Coach Venequattro, we forged a culture that embodies the spirit of our community. Blue collar, hardworking, tough, a loyal ethos. We created a bond that transcended the field, embracing a country boy and us against the world mentality that fueled our passion and our dedication. From the very beginning, our journey was remarkable. We started fast, we came hard. I remember the day Jason Kaufman appeared live on ESPN, sitting in my Jefferson Street house, and it said, West Carthage, New York. At that moment, we weren't just a small town, but we were on the map. We were on the map. Jason Kaufman put us on the map, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go out there and play for my town and make people in this town proud of what we are and who we are. Ryan Powell, Coach V talked about it, starting a world champion as captain of Team USA. I see this remarkable picture of him holding a trophy in Manchester, England, all the way from Carthage. Josh Kaufman brings home a gold medal from Perth, Australia. My greatest moment was playing in London, Ontario, Canada in the World Championships and looking to my left at the start of the World Championship against Canada. And Ryan on the left, Mike on the left. He was the youngest, we made him play lefty. Put Ryan over on the right. But that was my greatest moment, knowing the 20 best USA lacrosse players and 3 of them came from the same backyard. It was awesome. And there's Mike. We all know Mike and what he's done, and his accomplishments are legendary. Again, people miss his style of play and miss him, and he has the most watched, most viewed highlight with over 2 million views on YouTube of any lacrosse player ever, which is incredible. And I don't even know the last time Mike has picked up a stick. It's probably been maybe since high school or right after college. But his jersey hangs in the Carrier Dome next to Gary Gate and Jim Brown. It's truly remarkable that my brother went out there and did that, and now you can walk into the Carrier Dome, the most famous on-campus sport facility in America, and his jersey's hanging up there. It's pretty awesome. Mike Powell. Our impact has not been limited to the field. It is extended into every corner of the nation. Selesky made his mark in the Ivy League. The Dingmans infiltrated the military academies. Players from our program have traveled across the country, leaving an indelible mark wherever they go. Coaches know that when you recruit a Carthage lacrosse player, you're getting somebody who will give their all. The contributions we've made, this program has made to lacrosse are immeasurable. We hold all-time scoring records, NCAA scoring records, Syracuse scoring records. We revolutionized the game without fully understanding the magnitude of our impact, driven by sheer passion and determination. We had no idea what we were doing, but we did it really good in hindsight. And we did it really good, and we did it every day. We got a little bit better. As I stand before you tonight as a proud alum, I reflect on my journey in this sport. I played for the pride of Carthage, I always have. A pride that was cultivated right here in our hometown. To my teammates from the 1994 sectional team, give it up 94. The very first championship team, I owe you an immense debt of gratitude. You were a special team, and those memories are forever etched in my heart. It's great to see you guys again. That was a very special team and a very special time in my life that set the path for my lacrosse career. To my brothers, you guys are everything. It was such an amazing and fun journey. My family, thank you for your unwavering support. There's no better place than growing up here surrounded by this amazing community. And to Coach Venequattro, wow, thank you for your vision and dedication. You recognized our interest. You were the baseball coach. You weren't a lacrosse guy, but you recognized what we were into. and you created this sport for us, this opportunity for us. Little did you know your efforts would lead to this incredible legacy. Your passion ignited a fire within us that transformed our town and our lives. Without you, we'd be here tonight, but we'd be over there playing pull tabs. It's a privilege to be here alongside the teammates and friends that shoveled off the parking lot, taped up our ear holes, hiked up our socks, and got the job done. Together, we are Carthage Lacrosse, and together, we will continue to carry this torch forward. Let us celebrate our past, honor our present, and inspire the future of Carthage Lacrosse. Thank you.